Chris Ager, the Hillsborough County Republican Chairman and recently elected National Committeeman for New Hampshire. Today we're honored to host the Trump Leadership Initiative training, and I first want to say the reason that we're doing this in Hillsborough County is because we were asked. But secondly, the reason we're asked is because Hillsborough County has been identified in Hill Magazine as one of the top 10 counties in the country that will determine the next election. And we plan on winning Hillsborough County by a bigger margin than what the president lost here in 2016. We won Hillsborough County by 500 votes, including Nashville and Manchester. We plan on winning Hillsborough County by over 3,500 votes to put the president over the top. So there is press in the room. They are authorized to film, and if you want to take pictures and film, then you're authorized to do that. This is a new meeting from the previous one that was private. I'd like to introduce first our introductory speaker. I know he doesn't need an introduction, but I'd just like to tell a little story. The reason the president is the president is because of the work that Corey did to get him elected in the primary. My opinion, and I'm almost never wrong in these things, is that if it wasn't for Corey Lewandowski, we would not have a President Trump, and millions of people's lives in this country would not have improved. So if you think about it, Corey's helped put into place the situation that allowed for millions of Americans to have better lives. And that's a fantastic tribute. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend, Corey Lewandowski.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, everybody, for being here. Not just my friends from New Hampshire, but those who came up from Rhode Island and Massachusetts and came down from Maine and across the region. I brought two of my boys with me today. They're in the back. My youngest son, Reagan, named after the second greatest president, right? And one of my twins, Owen. So, you know, guys, we've had an incredible 2 weeks. If you look at how unified the Republican Party is right now, supporting the president. I had the opportunity to travel out to Iowa last week with about 80 other surrogates. The Trump family came out, and Mark Meadows and Jimmy Jordan and Kevin McCarthy, and we had Ben Carson out there, and we had a massive show of strength in Iowa, and Donald Trump won 97.7% of the caucus vote out in Iowa. And we still don't know who won for the Democrats, right? I mean, it's amazing. I left the voting precinct, and I think my 8-year-old could have counted how many votes it was, and it wasn't that hard to do it, but they found a way to screw it up, which we really appreciate. And then we got back from Iowa, and we saw the president deliver what I think was truly the best speech he has ever delivered as a president of the United States at the State of the Union. A lot of people made a lot of hassle about Nancy Pelosi ripping up the speech, and while I thought that was appalling, I don't think it was the most appalling thing. I think the fact that the Democrats couldn't stand up when a young girl was given a scholarship to go to a school and support her, and they couldn't stand up for the man who was 100 years old, who was a Tuskegee Airman, one of the last African Americans to serve in that group, and they couldn't stand up and recognize him. When they couldn't stand up for the sergeant who did 4 tours of duty, who came down into the gallery to see his family for the first time. That's appalling to me. Yes. That's not what the Democratic Party used to be about. And look, hey, there's no one more partisan than me. We're better than that. The country's better than that. When we see American heroes in that gallery, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, you should be proud of those people. And it's so disgusting to me that they couldn't even stand up and clap for those people. That's what this country has come to. That's what Nancy Pelosi and AOC and Rashid Tlaib and the socialists believe in. You can't be proud to be an American anymore. I don't buy into that. I don't buy into it because I see that every single day the president gets up and he fights. And he doesn't care if you're blue or white, black or orange, green or purple. He fights for Americans. He fights them every day because he's proud to be an American. And our motto is so simple. Make America great again. America first. You know, whether it's out when he's killing terrorists, which I'm proud of. You know, I had dinner with the president last night in Washington, D.C. I flew up this morning, and he had 5 pages of bullet points of accomplishments. I said, what the hell is that? He says, you want to read? I said, no, there's too many. There's literally too many. But if he doesn't talk about them, the media won't give him the credit. So part of what we need from all of you here, and I'm so thankful that you're here today, is to go out and remind everybody of all the success that we've had in the first 3 years of this administration. Not just is the economy booming, it's the greatest economy in our lifetimes. African American unemployment rate, the lowest ever recorded. Asian American, Hispanic American, women. More people in the workforce today than ever in the history of our country because of the policies of this president, because of the tax cuts, because of the deregulation that he's put in place, and because he's fighting against the bad trade deals. And I need you to remind everyone about that because he can't do it alone. And MSDNC, the guys who hate us, okay, it's supposed to be MSNBC, but it's really just the extension of the DNC. We know that they'll never give this president a fair shot. We know that. But he has a microphone that he uses, and look, you've seen him not just at the State of the Union. You know what he did yesterday? He fired a couple bad hombres in the building, right? You know, the media's head exploded. How can you remove the lieutenant colonel? Is this like a joke? How can you remove the guy? The guy literally hates the president of the United States, and he's serving in the administration. And by the way, he's not the only one, right? And so, look, it takes a lot of guts to do what the president does every day, and I have such a unique privilege. I have a unique privilege to spend time with him, to talk to him. I'm going to have the opportunity to obviously hope all of you come to the rally on Monday night. So important. But look, for the last 4 years, even though this president won 38 primaries and caucuses, and I was there for all of those, there's one thing he reminds me of. Election results in New Hampshire on election night. Every time and I've talked to him hundreds of times, he always reminds me that we did not deliver for New Hampshire. So Ray, you better deliver. You better deliver, Ray. So listen, what I need from you guys, and what I think the country needs, is we're going to show our support for this president, not just on Tuesday, by making sure that we turn out in record numbers, because Republicans are organized, we are unified, and we love what we call on the other side Operation Chaos, right? We want these guys to fight every day. We want Bernie beating up little Mikey, and we want Pocahontas in this race as long as possible. It helps us. We want them to go to the brokered convention and then steal it from Bernie, because that's what they're going to do. You mark my words. And that's good for us, okay? Because we're unified, we're organized. We have an amazing campaign. I have the privilege to be the senior advisor to the campaign again, and I work with so many great people. So many great people here in New Hampshire who both volunteer and get paid to work, and I want to thank you for that. But then look, after the president comes up here on Monday night, we'll have a strong showing Tuesday, then I need you to work harder than we did in 2016. Because we have an opportunity. If Donald Trump and Mike Pence get reelected for 4 more years, we have a fundamental opportunity to change the trajectory of our country for generations. Not just what the president's done. He's appointed 190 federal judges plus 2 amazing Supreme Court justices. That's long-term impact. We're actually close to getting a majority of conservatives on the 9th Circuit, if you can believe it. Because that's what the president's been doing. And it goes unreported, but it's so important. So listen, Monday, you guys are here for the training. I'm so grateful. Monday, you come and see, which is going to be a massive rally. The vice president's coming in. He's doing a bus tour through New Hampshire. By the way, how great is Mike Pence? Right? You know, he has been such an amazing partner and the best hire that I say the president made when we started this campaign. So it's a privilege to get to work with the vice president, the president on a regular basis, but I need to win New Hampshire because I can't take 4 more years of the guy crushing me every day. Okay? I just can't do it. And so look, I'm going to finish with this story, and I said it a couple times. You know, the president is a prolific TV watcher. And I'm going to do Judge Janine tonight, which is one of our favorite shows because, you know, Janine's the greatest, right? She's just a fighter for us. And about a year ago, I had 2 of my boys in the car. I was going up to Fox News, and it was a Saturday morning, and I was going to do Fox and Friends. And the night before, I had done Chris Cuomo's show, I had done MSNBC, and I had done Fox. And on the way up to the studio the next morning, I looked down and I was in the back of the car and I saw that it was the president's cell phone. And he was calling and I answered the phone. I said, "Good morning, sir." And he said, "Corey." And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Melania watched you on TV last night. She said you were amazing." I said, "Oh, thank you, sir. You know, I did my very best and you know, I hope I represented you and the family well." He goes, "I watched you, Corey. You sucked. You were weak. Cuomo walked all over you." I said, "Yes, sir." And of course, what he said. So he said, "I see you're going up to Fox and Friends." I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "You're going to say the following, bing, 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 bing." He told me exactly what to say, right? So I go up, I do a Fox and Friends hit on that Saturday morning. I get out of the studio, not even back in the car yet. Phone rings, right? Donald John Trump on the phone. "Yes, Mr. President." "Lewandowski, you're back." I said, "I just did what you told me," sir." He goes, "Exactly." Right? So, you know, I tell you that because he inspires such loyalty and dedication to everybody who has the privilege to spend time with him. And I know many of you have met him privately. And so, you know, I've spent the last 5 years of my life, and really what has been the majority of my children's life, giving up time to be with him because it's so important. And so I thank you for being here, taking time away from your family and your friends on a Saturday to help the campaign. I thank you for all you do in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine. We're going to win in November. And when we do that...
Yes,
When
we are.
we win in November, we're going to win by a bigger electoral margin because we're going to deliver the state of New Hampshire. It's going to be because of you. So thank you very, very much for being here, and it's really my pleasure. And I'll turn it back over to the chairman, our national committeeman, and really now the boss, right? The boss of New Hampshire, Chris Ager.
Okay, guys, one more. Corey, he works in D.C. He's only up here on the weekends, and you know, his boys back there, they played in the treehouse in the backyard when Corey came and did a fundraiser for congressional candidates. And just like to thank his whole family for letting the country get the services of Corey Lewandowski. Corey, thanks again. Really appreciate it.